We're here today with three fabulous guests in the merry month of March. You're going to be hearing some wonderful things we can do in our community, and I want you to stay tuned because they're great. We're here with Kaitlyn Cook from Travel Salem. Welcome, Kaitlyn.
Hi.
You have a title that's a little longer than I can say, but it rolls off your tongue.
Yes, it's the Polk County Destination Development Manager with Travel Salem.
So Polk County is, even though it says Travel Salem, we're in Polk County. So
Yes.
And this is a fairly new position for you.
It's a new position for me. I started in December at the very beginning and kind of hit the ground running with all these projects. It's been really fun.
You jumped in the deep end.
Yeah.
So a little background on you. You're from the coast area.
Yes, so I'm from Gearhart, Oregon. It's a small, sleepy coastal town right next to Seaside and about 20 minutes south from Astoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And you went to school at University of Oregon?
Yes, I'm a graduate of the University of Oregon from the Planning, Public Policy, and Management program. So I had a concentration in city planning and community development.
So you're right in your field of study, would you say?
That's how I feel. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. Really, city planning is all about community engagement and making sure that people's voices are heard. And so I look forward to bringing that skill set to this position.
I think that's exactly right, because you are a listener and you do hear what folks are saying and apply it,
Yeah.
which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And you had some experience in RARE. Where were you with RARE?
So I was in Pendleton, Oregon, which is Eastern Oregon, mostly known for the rodeos.
Sure.
But it was a really fun time working there. I worked on housing events and did some economic development work with the associate director for the city of Pendleton.
Good.
So it was a lot of good experiences.
I think it's some of our sister cities have had RARE volunteers.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain just briefly what it is?
Yeah, so RARE stands for Resource Assistance for Rural Environments. And basically what it is, it's a program out of the University of Oregon, so it's a really easy partnership for me to make. And it is a program that helps rural communities with different initiatives. So it can be housing, environmental work, food web work, and so I've had really a diverse projects, but and my colleagues also worked in all sorts of different places. But yeah, it's all focused in Oregon, and it's a really good program. It's a year.
Yeah, that's great. So it gives you experience. It helps the community you're working out with too.
Yeah.
It gave you some good experience for what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of made me realize how much I love working with local businesses. And I did a lot of that when I was in the city of Pendleton. So that's been fun.
When your predecessor, Nora, had developed like pamphlets, and I'm assuming those pamphlets
They are still out and about.
They're still out and about. Yes, and I assume there is a lot more going on under your leadership. And tell us some of the fun stuff coming up.
So there's a lot of fun stuff coming up, and I really came in when these projects were already rolling. I mean, Nora did a lot of work for these programs that I'm working on now, and so she laid a great foundation for me to just come right in.
Good.
But some fun things that we have going on is the Great Oaks Food Trail that's going to be launching this summer. And the food trail, I know you've heard about this before.
Yes. Well, please tell us what that is.
The food trail is a itinerary of different businesses who produce local products or they source their products locally. So this can mean a lot of different things. This can mean that you're a farm in Polk County that supplies different vegetables and has a fruit stand on their property, or it could mean that you're a restaurant that sources all locally within 100 miles.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
we have a local CSA, Lucky Crow.
Yes.
And we've had Eden on before. And she worked with Valkyrie, Savannah Valkyrie, and they did a farm-to-table event.
Yeah.
They've only done one, but man, I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah.
We're a foodie state, so that's going to be big.
Yeah, and it's been a pleasure. Valkyrie is going to be on our Great Oaks Food
good.
Trail, and so
Good.
along with a lot of other great businesses in
Good.
Polk County, really stretching even just a bit outside of Polk County, like in Amity, in Willamina, and also in the heart, like in Monmouth, Dallas, and Independence.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Something you were telling us about at a meeting recently was recreation on the river.
Yes.
Tell us what's that going to be.
So that's the Willamette River Water Trail, and this is a really exciting program because it's with Travel Oregon in partnership with the Willamette Valley Visitors Association, and they're spearheading this project to make a itinerary, a map from Springfield, Oregon till Milwaukee. And so if you can kind of picture that, that is just all the way up the Willamette Valley, and we're trying to make it so it's easier for users to recreate on the river, and so with wayfinding and and with the map,
and where you can dock and maybe have a nice lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a lot of local work that's been put into this before I came onto this position, like with the Willamette River Keepers Association, and a lot of different businesses are looking forward to have their input heard from Travel Oregon. Actually, we have an input session coming up on April 21st in Independence for folks who are interested in giving their input on this project. So it is still in this development stage, but slowly working.
So bicycles. Are you involved in that at all, and the tourism for folks doing the biking? I know there are a couple of events throughout the state, but one in particular for women in starting in Independence.
Joyride?
Joyride.
Yes.
Joyride.
Yeah. So I just kind of become involved with that, still learning a lot, but I know what we have on the Explore Polk County website, while it's under construction right now, it'll be up and running soon. We have routes that people can take with their bicycles that are both gravel and paved. We have a Ride Polk County video.
Good.
Because I think the Polk County Tourism Alliance really understands the importance of bicycle tourism and bikers in general.
Right.
And it's really interesting. We have a good advantage in Polk County.
Yeah, Kathleen Mason at the Chamber is really into pushing that. So
Absolutely.
I think we've got the resources here. You know, we've got a nice path, and we've got so I'm glad to see that that's one of the activities you're involved in.
Yeah.
You're involved in so many things. There's you had mentioned Explore Polk County, and then there was a cute title, Come Poke Around. What is that?
Oh, the hashtag Come Polk Around.
Please tell us that.
I love that. Yes, so that is the official Polk County hashtag, Polk County Tourism hashtag, I should say. But yeah, it's hashtag Come Polk Around, and when you use that hashtag, it can make it your information shareable to the Explore Polk County Instagram and Facebook page. And so that's a really good way to keep up to date on different events that are happening, as well as news about the Great Oaks Food Trail, about the Willamette River Trail. And so,
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Well, it's one of our guests coming up is going to be talking about social media. And, you know, you've got a handle on this. Some of us are being yanked into it, kicking and screaming, but it is the avenue to get information out now. So.
Absolutely. It's an incredible tool, and I think it just makes information so much more accessible to people, and that's what we're trying to do at the Polk County Tourism Alliance, is make that information accessible, bring visitors in, and inform them about all the great things that we have in this area, because it is plentiful.
And the way that you can communicate that too, you know, you're talking about so many things that we have going, and they're all coming from different directions. You're on numerous committees, and we met at a partnership, a Polk County partnership meeting, where everybody was saying, okay, well, this is happening on December 6th. Well, this is happening on December 8th. So there's, in our county, lots of things going on. How do we hear them all? And you have a calendar.
Yeah, so there is a really good resource for event planners at the Travel Salem event calendar, and anybody can submit an event. Of course, it goes through a screening process. It needs to be open to the public.
Yeah.
But that is a great resource to check what events are coming up, both in Polk and Marion County.
So what is the website that we would go to?
It is Travel Salem website,
Okay.
and then you'll see up the top under things to do, you'll go down to events, and then you'll see the event calendar, and then you can push submit an event from there.
Okay, or view.
Or just view,
Hey, I want to get out and do something this weekend.
Oh, it's a great resource, and Travel Salem has a lot of blogs that they put out, and they put so much time into really researching all these events, and it's really worth
Lots
people's
of things
time.
to do.
Yeah, it's a great
Good.
resource.
Wondering if there's anything we've missed. Recreating on the River, Tourism Alliance, Polk Partnerships, Willamette Valley Visitors Association.
Yeah,
And what's that?
so it's called an RDML.
So what happens with that? Who's in that?
So that's the Willamette Valley Visitors Association.
Oh, okay.
And so this is the branch. So it's Travel Oregon. Then there's the regions, and our region
we're
is
mid-Willamette.
So we're the Willamette Valley Visitors
okay.
Association, and then Polk County and Marion County's DMO, the destination.
Oh, gotcha. That's okay. That's okay.
So that's kind of how that structure works.
Okay, so umbrellas.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Except the big umbrella is the Oregon, Travel Oregon.
Yeah.
Then comes the Willamette, and then comes the Travel Salem.
Yes.
Gotcha. So we're
it's like a
funneling down.
funnel.
Okay.
Exactly, and that's how they explain it in
Okay.
their presentations.
Perfect. It's been a pleasure hearing more about you, more about what we can do, where we can find it.
Yeah.
And things are happening.
Things are happening, and so it's really good. It's a great time to keep in touch with the Facebook page and the Instagram. And the Polk County Tourism Alliance is really, it's a collaborative of different organizations that work towards tourism and developing new visitor assets. And such. So,
That's great. All sorts of things happening.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Thanks, Kaitlyn.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll be right back. And our guest now is Audrey Comerford. She's with OSU Extension Service. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for coming on. You're a specific aspect of, the Extension Office. I was a 4-H'er and Master Gardeners. But you have a specialty. Tell us your specialty.
Yeah, so OSU Extension is known for its outreach and engagement with the community. My particular job title is Agritourism Coordinator. And that is basically a fancy way of saying I work with farms that have the public come onto their property, whether that's for educational experience like a tour, it could be a tasting room like a winery, and it could be things like a harvest festival, farm stand, basically any other additional way for these farms to promote their product.
Good, good. And it's very trendy now. It seems to be quite trendy. Tell us about what got you going. I know we should start by saying you're from Rick Reel. You're in a Polk County girl. You went to school at OSU.
I did, yes.
What'd you graduate in?
I graduated with a degree in English and photography, which has nothing to do with agriculture, but like you said, I grew up in Rick Reel.
Sure.
I went to a very small farm school out in the middle of acres and acres of grass seed fields, and I got a lot of my practical knowledge, growing up being adjacent to the wonderful agriculture products that Polk County has to offer.
Right. And then both of your folks are they?
Yes, they were both extension agents. My father was horticulture for many years, and then eventually taught on campus as a plant propagations professor there. And then my mother was in a different program in Marion County through the SNAP Ed and
Okay.
yeah, the
Sure.
outreach there.
And that's
so.
part of the OSU too.
Yes,
Wow.
it is.
Of the Extension Service.
It is.
So you went to school and then you got a job. Tell us about that first job, because that kind of impacted your decision.
It really did, yes. So my first position outside of college was with Bauman's Farm and Garden. And they are known around the valley for a lot of different things, but one of them being their harvest festival, their farm stand, their markets. They have been farming for over 100 years. And they have been open to the public, first of all, with a farm stand and a farm store for over 25 years now. And
So they were pros at this.
yeah, they are one of the big farms you think of in Marion County, and we are lucky to live in an area where there are so many, farms that have some sort of agritourism or farm direct sale component.
Yeah.
I think between the 3 counties that I work for, there's over 250 of them, so there's a large number. But Bauman's does have a lot going on. They're open year round. And one of the positions that I held there was coordinating and managing the school tours during the Harvest Festival in the October season.
Yeah.
And it was quite a job.
So, I think it's a terrific field trip. I think every kid has gone on it, but you noticed something different. You noticed something different. So tell us what happened.
I did, yeah. It was in the second season of me coordinating and leading these tours, and there was I think it was about a second grader. Asked. We had a barn with animals, and he asked what the calf was. There was a little calf there that the Baumans had gotten from a dairy down the road, Jersey calf, so brown, and he didn't have a name for it. He didn't have a name for it at all. He couldn't even think of cow or farm animal. He just asked what it was. And I explained to him that his, mother produces milk and you buy it in the store. And he's here to live on the farm. And, this is, a farm animal and a cow. And I, went about my tours. But after, a couple weeks went by, I had over 12 to 15 different kids ask the same question. One of them thought it was a deer.
That's crazy.
They didn't have a name for it.
Well, I remember those little books that say, cow is very easy, and there's always a picture. It's a word, and this is it. How funny is that? So,
yeah, it was definitely my first introduction to the educational gap that is happening today in the general public. There are more and more people removed from the farm now. It's no longer their parents or their grandparents that have, some sort of connection to agriculture directly. And so I view these farms as a very important educational component. Not only are you adding additional revenue stream for these farms and a way for these family farms to stay afloat, but you're adding that educational component to the public.
Sure.
Which is missing, and which you may not get as strong or authentically as being there and touching the cow. Or seeing the fields. Or learning about how strawberries are picked. Or, so many things.
All that stuff. I know that, wineries, of course, they're doing their version of agritourism.
Right.
How about like hazelnuts or, let's see, they're not called hazelnuts until they're produced.
Hazelnuts, filberts, either one.
Filberts until they drop,
If you ever want to impress the local, you call them filberts.
Okay.
But yes.
So do people go out to filbert orchards? Or?
They do, yes. And actually, that would be one area. I was just actually talking to somebody in the tourism in this area who was talking about, we could use more hazelnut farmers that have a agritourism component, like some tours or something like that. But there are lots of different industries, yes.
Sure.
Everything from produce to dairies. There are farms that produce wool from sheep or alpacas, fiber.
Sure.
It really runs the gamut, and it's everything from classes to tours, farm to table dinners, as you mentioned with Kaitlyn. So it's very diverse, and we have this one fancy word, agritourism, and it's not about concerts, and it's not about bringing mass gatherings. It really is about
this is not Woodstock.
Right. And I think sometimes a lot of people get scared of that specific word, and I really hope that, people think of it as more than just,
Sure.
mass people
Right.
coming onto farmland.
Right, right. I know when we have grandchildren in town around October, so we always head out for a pumpkin patch.
Right.
And that's probably the first agritourism that ever existed or Christmas tree farms where
Christmas
you cut your
tree
own. I
farms
guess
are
that's a
big-
form of
Yes,
agritourism.
it is. So Christmas trees is a you cut or a you pick. And
Mm-hmm.
those are both, very closely related to farm and culture,
Sure,
and
sure.
are, probably one of the first things you think of when you say, "Oh, I'm going to go, pick some blueberries from the farm." You're participating in
Right.
agritourism.
Right, okay. So now we have a word for what we've been doing for generations,
Yes,
except some
yes.
of us haven't. Truffles.
Yes.
Yeah, those, I think those folks probably protect their area and
Yes.
and would prefer not to show you where their
Right,
truffles
they
are
can
found.
be, yes, territorial, but there are
Yeah.
tour companies in the area who are, taking folks out with obviously the landowner's permission and, hunting for
Showing them
truffles.
with the
Yes,
dog or
absolutely,
the-
and that's another form of education. Actually, outdoor recreation, birding, hiking trails on
sure.
farmland.
Okay.
That is also considered
Sure.
agritourism. So,
Okay,
yeah.
good, good. So it's educational, direct sales.
Yeah. You then have hospitality, which could be those farm-to-table dinners. Some people have, stays on farms or farm stays. And then entertainment, which is, more of your festivals. We have a big one coming up in the valley, not in Polk County, unfortunately, but obviously with Wood and Shoe Tulip Festival. That's one of
Oh.
Oregon's, I think, most iconic
True.
agritourism festivals.
Sure.
So, it really runs the gamut. It's not just about food, although that is a very important part of it and a great way to get local produce. But it's a very diverse field.
I was looking at, and I sent you the article on tea.
Yes.
So a camellia bush is a certain strain is the tea bush, and so we have craft beers, we have wines, we have specialty things. We're a foodie state, and now they're suggesting tea. This is a great climate for tea,
Right.
And that's the perfect agritourism avenue. You could do the yoga in the
Oh, yeah.
field or meditation and tea or something like that.
Yes, and that
Sort of fun.
farm is doing a wonderful job. They've been growing, tea in the camellia for a long time, and I'm excited to see where they go with it and see
Yeah.
how many other farms pick up that crop. So,
And I think this is trending up. This is. I was looking at a website today. There will be a television program next year of a floral farm in Washington in Skagit County.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be, like a show every week.
oh, how wonderful!
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
So it's trending. And
It is trending.
You're
yes.
right there.
And it's come out of a necessity. I mean, it really has. These farms, the cost of producing their products is rising.
Yeah.
And the cost that they're getting for the products is staying the same or lowering. And so being able to sell direct to the consumer is a way that they're able to basically stay afloat.
Right.
And I think as long as people keep that in mind and remember that, the activities in the pumpkin patches, they're selling their product. These festivals,
Sure.
they are selling, what they produce. And these farms are very near and dear to my heart. And, my
Sure.
father's side of the family had a Christmas tree farm. So obviously the Christmas tree fields are, have a special place in my heart. But it is all about, being able to sell their product
Right,
for a
right.
higher price.
And the education aspect of it too.
Absolutely. Well, yes,
Yeah.
as an extension
Yeah.
agent, I think
so they're
that's
doing
wonderful.
a service as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is a give and take. And I think the more that people can find their local farm stand, even if it's seasonal, and buy produce from them, maybe you make one less trip to the grocery store.
Right.
Maybe you do that all season.
Right. Okay.
I think that would be one way for people
Good.
to participate.
Well, thanks for informing us on this. This is
Oh.
going to be fun. And I look forward to going to the farms and
Oh, yes.
doing some of these fun things. Thank you.
Well, thank you again.
We'll be right back. we have Lisa Catto with us. And you can tell she's from Western. She's got the right sweater on. Lisa is with Marketing and Communications Department here, and she's the Assistant Director. Awesome. So you've been doing some pretty cool stuff, and something we'll get to in a very short while is the new website calendar of events. So, but first, tell us, where did you come from? How long have you been here? That stuff.
All right. So I come from Gresham, outside of Portland. Is where I was raised. I went to University of Oregon and studied public relations and journalism.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it worked great. And I got a job here not too long after college, and I've been here for almost 15 years. I also got a degree here in anthropology.
Oh.
So I was reading and editing our course catalog and came across the description of anthropology and archaeology classes and thought, why not? So
Wow.
studied that and studying anthropology and archaeology at PSU right now. And I live
Going for a master's.
Yeah, yeah.
And coming into the home stretch.
so close, almost there.
Yeah. That's good.
I live in Dallas. I lived in Monmouth for a lot of years and love Polk County.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Well, I've looked at some of your earlier works. They're always great where you interview people and you write about them, and I think, oh, this is going to be such an easy interview because you know it all. But I've seen changes over the years. You know, I've seen articles from 10 years ago to, you know, within the last 5 years too. So it's always challenging to keep it fresh, I assume.
Yes.
So, but you have kept it fresh, and you've brought us into this century with social media. So I'm sure initially you were doing magazine articles, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of media relations. That was primarily what I was hired for in 2005, was working with the outside press, and that was before brands were using social media.
Okay.
So I've been here long enough that I got to create our social media spaces and grow them, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I think the idea was get out in front of it.
Yes.
If something happens, you don't want to be the last one to hear it. You want, you know, good or bad. You want to
Absolutely.
be in control of the situation.
Yeah.
So that was really smart. Yeah. We've had a calendar over the years, but now there's a new that you developed site, or what's the term? Today.
Yeah, today at Woo, so today.woo.edu. Yeah.
So tell us about that, if you would.
Absolutely. So this webpage is meant to be the entry to the WU website for everyone except prospective students, because our woo.edu is meant for them and has a few different links. So Today at WU is an event calendar for community members to see immediately what's happening. There's quick links to parking so that folks know where to go. Latest stories, links to videos that have been recorded. Just all sorts of information, feeds from the athletics department so that folks can stay up to date with what's happening with our athletics. And we try to cover important issues, just fun things that are happening, student life, really great things that our students are doing after they graduate with their degrees. So it's just all sorts of content.
Well, I know it's terrific, and it's what we've been hoping for, the community. As when we moved here, I joined organizations where folks would say, so what's happening on campus? Well, go to the calendar, click on here, and then click on here, and there will be a concert on Friday night kind of thing. And so now it's just, boop, one push, and you're done. You can see what's happening. And it's a very positive. I love that, too.
Great.
So you rolled that out, and it took quite a bit of time.
Yeah, just trying to get the pieces together and make sure that we had the content to support it. We were pulling together a few things that we used to do into one stop. It's been exciting. We've added a subscription option, so if anyone goes to today.woo.edu, it's below the opening stories, and you can put in your email, and we'll send an email periodically with, hey, here's what you might have missed.
Good.
So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. You've been involved in other things too. We just this week had Giving Day.
We did.
Do you want to talk about it? Because it's pretty exciting.
Oh, I would love to. So Giving Day, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to just directly to raise money to support WU students through programs, areas of greatest need, scholarships, all sorts of great things. And so it's been growing every year under the leadership of Emily Swart in our foundation, just growing significantly each year. And we had a goal of $100,000 this year, which was a big goal, and it was a big number.
Goal.
And we crushed it. We got over 130,000. Yeah. Woo.
130?
Yeah.
Oh
over
my
that.
gosh.
Yeah. So
that's
been
awesome.
amazing. That's going to make a huge impact for our students.
Oh, has that been put out yet? Has that gone
We
out
actually just
viral
posted a
yet?
story on
Okay,
today.
okay,
so
good.
very topical, like
Well,
20 minutes ago. So
I was a little occupied this morning, so I will check it out soon. That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah.
good news. Also, in addition to going to school, your job, you are also an author.
I am, yes.
Romance or
Romance novels and cozy mystery novels.
cozy mystery? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
It is. It's
And
a
you've
lot of
got
fun.
a kind of a group you get together with, maybe.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You talk about, well, what kind of things do you talk about?
I've been involved with the National Association for Romance Authors, and now I'm starting to shift a little more to cozy mysteries. I'll be releasing my first books in the fall.
Oh,
Which is
good.
exciting.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's set in kind of a town that's a little bit like if you merged Monmouth and Dallas. So lots of inspiration. There's a college, so I don't know where I get my ideas. But
Have you got a
fun.
title yet? Or
Meet Cutes and Murder. It's the protagonist is a sleuth who also writes romance. So it's a little bit of romance, a little bit of murder.
Oh, good.
But it's
a little bit of murder.
A little bit of murder, but it's happy stories.
I can't wait. That's going to be fun.
Thank
That's going to
you.
be great. You have also been involved in, I have another one, I assume, the Art Walk. Being in
yes.
marketing. This is the best postcard, and I've heard from more people, if you helped design that, then hats off.
I didn't, but I will pass it off to the team.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's great.
That's
so
wonderful.
this is coming up next Wednesday.
Yep.
Fred Maurice was an artist and taught art at University of Chicago.
I believe so,
I believe.
yeah.
Retired here, left over 1,000 pieces to the
Yes.
university. And
It's
so
amazing.
to pay for his project, which is solving a problem, we will be selling those pieces next Wednesday
Yeah.
on the 11th from 2 to 7 at 6 locations.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
See, should we say what those 6 locations are?
Yeah,
3
so
on campus and
The
3 off.
Hammersley Library, Rice Auditorium, and the Cannon Gallery, which is in Campbell Hall. Off campus, Java Crew and Crush and Mamer's Guest House, Crush Wine Bar and Mamer's Guest House. And then after that, following a week or two later, we expect to have a lot of pieces available online.
Oh,
So
okay.
for folks who may not be able to attend next week, though hopefully they'll be able to, or if they're out of town, that'll be an opportunity to see some of the art.
See what's like. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And then the buses will be running. We'll
Yes,
have
a
the Wolf
shuttle.
Ride shuttling as well as the Crush bus shuttling. I
Love
hear.
it. Love
I
it.
think that's going to be fun. A very, very fun event and unique.
Yeah.
One-time
And it's free.
opportunity. It's free.
Yeah.
Wine, cheese, desserts, champagne, all sorts of fun stuff.
I know we're all be
Sparkling
next
cider.
Wednesday. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, it's been wonderful hearing about today.
Thank you for
at
having
WU.
me.
Yeah. And great talking with you.
You too.
We'll be right back. Weren't they super? I had so much fun learning a little bit more about our community, things to do, what's happening, what's coming up. And these are 3 wonderful women who are just doing great things for us. You can see our show on Wimpeg Channel's YouTube, Easy Video, Channel 21, and of course, Polk Salad of Powney of Conversation Facebook page. Till next month, we'll see you around town.